I'm George Poveromo, and welcome to ACR's Survivors Club. The Survivors Club is not really a prestigious club that you want to become a member of. In fact, it's the complete opposite. It's made up of people who had near-death experiences either on land or offshore, and an EPIRB or a PLB had come to the rescue. I've got an unbelievable story about a group of anglers who set forth out of Mississippi in their story. So let's go hear it. Your adventure started out in a 28-foot center console. Well,
Yes,
we're not
sir.
going to mention names other than it's not a Mako.
That's right.
And you're, what, 30 miles offshore, and then you notice something really bad going on. Explain it.
We was in some pretty bad seas. I say pretty bad, sporty. 5 to 6 foot chop. We had taken, before the last stop, we took 2, maybe 3 pretty hard shots. We saw what we saw on the bottom unit, was going to turn around and go back and mark it. That's when it all broke loose. Within, I still say 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds, the boat was gone.
I've actually been in rougher seas than that. It was just like another day to me, and it was just like one of those freak accidents that you couldn't really stop it.
Are the motors really going underwater in the back? Is this really going down, you know? So it was, shock was what was felt. I mean, no other word for it than that. It's just like, this can't be real.
I had a PLB in my tackle bag. We was using my tackle. My tackle bag was in the bottom of the boat, I couldn't find it. We left the marina that morning. There was 5 of us on the boat. 3 of them left the marina and picked me and my son up at our camp, which was just right around the curve. They had a little safety meeting on the boat. Connor, his wife had packed a PLB, and he had it in a ditch bag, and he told all the guys, or the other 2 guys that was on the boat at the time, if something happens, grab this yellow ditch bag.
So once the boat was really going down, noticed it was going down that quick, we just got up to the front of the boat and started grabbing all the life jackets out and throwing everything out we could. And Connor grabbed his EPIRB, or his yellow bag, and that had the PLB in it. And we held on to that for a long time.
Now here's where you became instrumental, from what I hear in this story, in really saving this whole crew. And it really goes to your girlfriend, because your girlfriend had given you an ACR PLB to take that day, which I believe, if I heard the story correctly, that was a gift from her father to her, and she gave it to you for the day.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir. That's exactly right. I wasn't instrumental at all. I just was the mule, if you will. She gave it to me that morning. I worked on charter boats the first 4 months of our relationship. I spent 7 days a week, 18 hours a day offshore, and I'd never taken one. It was the first time I'd ever had one in my bag, first time I'd ever had one on my person, and for some reason that morning she sent it with me.
And you called yourself the mule, but on that day you were the golden mule, because you saved everybody, because you took that EPIRB out. So you knew you had that, and you fired it off, and then it went on from there. You're in the water, and then the Coast Guard's coming in, you start to see everything unfold in front of you, but 5 hours in the water is sort of a long time.
Yes, sir. It was concerning seeing the Coast Guard come and go. I think for all of us, that was the most concerning part.
And anytime I go fishing, that bag always goes with me. And that particular day, Connor had just had a small surgery procedure done. He had about 6 stitches, and I was kind of hesitant on that. I was trying to keep that clean and no salt water in the wound. So I sent that out with him in that bag, where I had a bunch of waterproof stuff for his head so that it didn't get wet.
When you're floating around out there and you're in the open Gulf, did you run into any encounters, or what do you think, were there sharks or anything? You'd mentioned something really weird of what was attacking you.
Eels. Once we was in the water, we was getting eat up by something. Everybody had their own theories, and my son, the 21-year-old, was beside me. Something bit me on my stomach. I reached under my shirt and grabbed it and pretty much choked it out. It was an eel, and the old saying, I mean, I cobia fish forever. And I told you about the bucket of sand we use, you know, fishing with live eels. I mean, you just can't grab them, but I did.
Deep down, like, I knew we weren't gonna die there, but the only time that I kind of started freaking out is when I saw my dad kind of get in rough shape, cramping up, start shivering, get cold. I knew we were kind of in trouble at that point, and I was just hoping that Coast Guard boat saw us. It was scary.
That's why I made the video. I made the video for if we didn't make it back, I want at least some people to know that what happened. They're not just guessing.
Well, the boat sank. So, hey.
Oh, man.
No bueno. Love y'all.
Was your confidence level high that, hey, the PLB is sending out that signal? And as the time pressed on, did you feel like, well, maybe, you know, who's responding here or what?
At first, we were like, you know, Dusty kept ensuring, saying, it's working, look, it's flashing green, it's working. And 2.5 hours goes by and being in the water, and we see a Coast Guard boat. So we all at that point thought, yes, this thing's definitely working. What are the chances? You know, what's the coincidence that the Coast Guard happens to be 26 miles offshore right where we're at?
As soon as I saw them running grids, I knew it was just a matter of time for us to get saved. But at that point, I was just hoping it would kind of be a speedy process, because I saw my dad, he was getting in rougher and rougher shape.
All right, your thoughts when you finally got everybody aboard that Coast Guard vessel and you were heading back?
Unreal. That's hard to describe.
Yep.
I mean, all I want to do is get my feet on dry land. That's it.
Got back to the dock, and family gets there. You know, you go through a little bit of like, you're very scared. You know, you still don't know what happened, but you know, the emotions were extremely high.
So I guess you knew immediately when the Coast Guard actually had them on the boat and the rescue was done.
Yes.
And you were, I'm sure, ultra happy. And then when you got back and you had your little reunion, and
Oh, it
so I
was
gotta,
great.
you know, ask if you were so happy. Did they at least take you out to a fancy dinner or something for that?
I got
PLB?
some flowers.
So it's like we could take these PLBs and go anywhere we want to with them and know that we're going to be safe. I mean, we hunt different areas, and you might not have cell phone service down in the holler, but that PLB is going to have it. And you know, they got the bimini sticks and all that. So it's getting a lot better, and I'm learning a lot more about it, and I'm trying to teach a lot more people about the ACR and everything that they have to help other people out.
And there you have it, the survivor story from ACR. It was quite the story, and so glad that everybody made it out okay. And I've been a big proponent that every boat manufacturer that builds a model for sounds and bays and offshore should have an EPIRB as standard equipment, because they save lives.